problem. That'll work. Yes, sir.
It's 7 o'clock. I'd like to call the meeting to order, but before we come out to order, I ask Dr. Mary to lead a word of prayer for our deliberations.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for this beautiful day of life you've given us today, the blessings that you continue to give us as we journey to the promised land. Most of all, we thank you for that unconditional love you have for us. We ask you to continue to bless this institution, students, staff, and faculty, and help us to be tonight as we make decisions that are going to be affecting our students, our faculty, staff, and our taxpayers. And we ask this in Jesus Christ's name. Amen.
Amen.
I'd like to call the meeting to order. Would you read the minutes of the open meeting?
Shut that. Okay. Yes, sir. The Board of Trustees, Southwest Texas Junior College met in regular session April 21st, 2022 in the Matthew Student Center, Blue Bonnet Room. Board President Dr. Harry O. Watkins called the meeting to order at 7 p.m. Board members present were Dr. Harry O. Watkins, President, Dr. Antonio H. Rivera, Secretary, Maria Elena Lara, Victor Lopez, Tony T. Moreno, and Anita Shackelford. Also present was Dr. Hector Gonzalez, President of the college. The minutes of the March 24th, 2022 regular board meeting were read and approved as presented by Dr. Antonio H. Rivera, Secretary. Board President Watkins welcomed guests at the meeting, which included college personnel, Margot Mata, Derek Sandoval, Dr. Mark Underwood, Ann Tarski, Gilbert Mermea, Dr. Randa Shell, Wade Carpenter, and Ismael Martinez. Audience to patrons were none. The college financial condition report was presented by Ann Tarski. Investment policy report was presented by Ann Tarski. And the president report was presented by Dr. Hector Gonzalez. A motion was made by Anita Shackelford and seconded by Tony T. Moreno to approve the March 31st, 2022 financial statement as presented by Ann Tarski. Motion carried unanimously and a copy is attached. Motion was made by Victor Lopez and seconded by Maria Elena Lara to approve the resolution amending authorized representatives for financial transactions. Motion carried unanimously and a copy is attached. Motion was made by Tony T. Moreno and seconded by Maria Elena Lara to approve the recommendation of the 2022 and 2023 room and board rates. Motion carried unanimously. A copy is attached. Motion was made by Tony T. Moreno and seconded by Victor Lopez to approve the 2022-2023 Southwest Texas Junior College catalog. Motion carried unanimously. Copy is attached. Motion was made by Marina Lara and seconded by Victor Lopez to approve the 2022-2023 Southwest Texas Junior College Student Handbook. Motion carried unanimously and a copy is attached. Board President Watkins called the board into executive session at 7:34 p.m. to consider A, employees terminated, resigned, retired, new hires, and transfers according to Texas Government Code 551.074. At 8:04 p.m., Southwest Texas Junior College Board reconvene in regular session. With no further business or action items to discuss, I need a secretary to make that motion to adjourn. Maria Elena Lara second the motion, and the motion carried at 8:05 p.m.
Thank you. Welcome to the board meeting. We'd like to recognize our guests, Polly Lopez, Hector Sandoval, Rogelio Munoz, Brenda Shell, Wade Carpenter, Margot Mata, and State Representative Tracy King. Is there any audience to patrons?
No, sir.
The first item on the agenda is to discuss a possible appointment to fill the vacated spot by the death of Rodolfo Flores. Is there any discussion? Would anybody like to make a motion or have a consideration?
I didn't get the last one, Doctor. We're on number, what, 5?
5,
Okay.
possible appointment of a board member to fill the Rudy Flores vacated spot.
I'd like to make a comment, first of all. In the meetings, it says Dr. Harry Watkins, President. We probably should put President Interim on there until today, right?
No, as vice president, he assumes that role.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
on
he's
the
already
vacancy.
president. Okay.
And on this position, it's going to be us nominating someone today, and then that position will be filled until the election in November, correct?
Until we'll have to call an election for November, yes.
When is the last day that we can call the election?
It's
August sometime, I understand.
in August.
August what?
I believe it's August the 6th. I'll confirm that. But it's 90 days before
Yeah.
the November general. And you can certainly word that in the, if the board decides to make a motion, you can state that in the motion
Yes.
through, the board will call a special election in accordance for a November general election, and I think then all the dates will fall.
Okay.
The position will be filled by a plurality of the vote rather than a majority?
No, the way the statute is now, it has to be a majority.
Okay. So the person we appoint today will fill it until the general election in November. Do I have any considerations, nominations?
I think we have someone who is interested in joining us on the board, Mr. Rogelio Munoz, and I'd like to go ahead and make a motion to accept him
That's not good.
to replace Mr. Flores' position.
Do we have any other nominees? So then,
Did you second, Mariana?
Yes.
She did.
any other nominees? Should we call a vote to select Mr. Munoz to replace
Aye.
Mr. Flores? All in favor, say aye.
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 It seems that Mr. Munoz is elected. So now we need to administer oath to elected trustees.
26.
Mr. Chairman, can we let the record reflect that it was a unanimous vote?
Yes, it was.
So, Dr. Watkins, you and Dr. Rivera would...
Dr. Rivera and I, and Mr. Munoz come forward to be recognized. Where do we do this? Do we do this in place, or do we go somewhere to do it?
Forward.
Yeah, let me get... we historically have done them jointly, but we can certainly do them separately if that's the wishes of the board.
I'm asking a question.
Dr. Watkins, Dr. Watkins, you want to do them together or you want to do them separately?
Whatever suits anybody else, just, we can do them all,
That's customary.
all simultaneously if you want to. All together now, team. Welcome. You can sit over there anywhere you want to.
Wait, where do you want us to be?
If everybody's a bit, you're bad, that's fine.
I think it would be prettier.
Okay, we're right here.
Back over there, okay.
I'll be right here.
I can put the chair over there.
Thank you.
You want him
Yes.
dressing that way?
Are these chairs in the way? Maybe just back, yeah.
All three of us.
All three.
You want us to get a little closer so you get a picture closer?
No, go ahead, you're good. Don't come closer to the camera.
Due time. So we're going to administer the oath. I'm going to say "I," and then this is the really difficult part. Each one of you says your own names. I'm going to say "I," state your name, and then you repeat your names. Okay?
Yes.
Are we ready? So if you would, please bear with me, raise your right hand, repeat after me. I, state your name,
Luis Rivera,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of Board Trustee
of Board Trustee
for the Southwest Texas Junior College,
of Southwest Texas Junior College,
District of the State of Texas,
District of the State of Texas,
and will to the best of my ability
and will to the best of my ability
preserve, protect,
preserve, protect,
and defend the Constitution
and defend the Constitution
and the laws of the United States and of this state,
and the laws of the United States and this state,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations, gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Welcome. I can either sit on a chair or on the floor.
Mr. President, Dr. Watkins,
Yes, sir.
may I be recognized to say a few words?
Sure, please do.
I want to just thank everybody for giving me the opportunity to serve along you all in this important institution. So I had the privilege of attending this institution or this college in 1998 and 1999. And much of the success that I've had in my life I attribute to this institution. And so I look forward to working with you guys and you all and making this place a better place. So thank you.
We certainly do welcome you to the board, and we hope you stay with us a while.
So thank you.
Now we need to consider an act on a reorganization of the Board of Trustees. Do I hear any nominations for the presidency?
I think that Hector needs to take over. Need to take over.
You want me to take over the
You
meeting?
need to take over, yes.
Okay. So we'll open nominations for the offices. We can go, is it a pleasure of the board to go office by office?
Yes.
Okay. So we'll begin with the office of president of the board.
I'll nominate Dr. Watkins to remain as the president of the
Second.
board.
Second.
Thank you.
Okay. Now he takes over.
Okay.
Now he takes over. That's what I was trying
Now
to
he's
say.
officially on board.
Yeah.
Now do I have to call for a
Call for a vote.
vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Is that unanimous?
That's unanimous.
Okay, for the vice president?
He can stay in charge now.
Yes.
Nominations for the vice president of the board?
I nominate the next one in line, who's been here the longest in seniority role, which should be Tony Moreno. Been here since 2002.
it would be Dr. Rivera.
Oh,
Thank you.
1998.
98, yes.
Okay, well,
Thank you,
seniority,
but-
whoever's next.
I'll second.
Can you tell?
Any other nominations? Do I get a motion nomination cease? All in favor of Tony Moreno as vice president? All in
No.
favor?
No, no.
Oh,
We-
Dr. Rivera,
Dr. Rivera. Been retracted.
been retracted.
I'm crazy. Antonio Rivera.
So then next in line, who's in line?
Secretary.
I go ahead and nominate Tony Moreno to be the secretary.
Any
Second.
other nominations?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all.
So I got that straight finally.
Now we gotta take over.
Next item on the agenda is to present years of service pins to two of our board members, Ms. Anita Shackelford and Tony T. Moreno.
Didn't know it was time. Ms. Shackford, you too? Right? Did I hear that wrong? or-
Yes,
We'll do it.
Ms. Shackelford and Tony T. Moreno.
Ladies first, ladies first.
Ladies first.
2007.
You know,
Gonna take a picture of the
I'd like to present you a
Yes, thank you.
pin for 15 years of service. 15 years of service.
Long time.
Didn't know you was that old, did you?
We need to fix that. Because if you came in,
98.
But Dr. Watkins,
where are you?
Don't do it.
In 98?
Congratulations.
But yeah, she doesn't say that too often. I should have worn a suit.
Yeah, you should have worked.
Dr. Watkins?
Yes.
I get one by yours. Who is?
Tony.
Oh, yeah. Dr. Watkins, I'm gonna be mad at Nita because she should have forced me to wear a suit.
Need a read.
Yeah, need to read.
Congratulations and welcome. Thank you for 20 years of service.
Been a great ride.
Now,
Oh.
Okay. All right.
we put one more on one side and one on the other.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
I get to be in the middle. Thank you both for your service.
All right. How long have you been?
Congratulations,
That's
Dr. Rivera.
Monday.
Congratulations.
Thanks for the nomination.
Did it wrong, but you knew what I meant.
Next, we'll have the president's report.
Yes, sir, that's item number 10 in your board pack. So further down in the agenda, we're going to talk about the site work for the modular building. But one of the things that we added to the scope of that, that bid, we added as an alternate bid, is the addition of 45 parking spots. Upon further evaluation of the usage of the parking in that area, we found that it was already getting pretty full, and then putting in the 20 to 30 cadets that we have and their instructors was really going to congest that area. So we asked the bidders to give us an alternate bid for an additional 45, which would be on the, I guess, on the east side of where the modular building's going. So we'll talk about that as we get down to the site work. The other thing is AEP would not order transformers without us granting them an easement for those transformers. So I went ahead and signed the easement to expedite the order of those transformers, and it's I think it's an 8-foot easement covering their primary service from the pole to the pad, and then surrounding the pad. It's a routine matter. I mean, you can't get service without the easement, so.
So it's not a road?
No, no,
It's just the area?
It's the path of the wires.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we're looking for, as you know, especially one of our new board member knows that we've been using the hangar for multiple, for wildlife and for overflow storage. City asked us to focused strictly on aviation. So all that storage, furniture, and equipment is in the former auto body space. We received a grant to do a short construction trade programs with Pearsall, and we're going to hold it in there. Last summer, we held it in the hangar, but the agreement we had with the city was at the end of May, nothing but aviation is going to be going on there. So we're looking at different sites on our campus that we can build a storage building, a metal storage building. In the meantime, what we've done is, right as you cross the drainage going into the arena, you see a little caliche pad going in there, and that's for those containers. So we ordered 4 or 5 containers to temporarily store all that equipment so we can ready that auto body space for a June start for that grant. But in the long term, we're looking for where we would place a permanent storage facility for maintenance.
Tentatively, the only other place we have is back over here, right?
So we're looking at several areas. One is in the back 60, the back 40, right adjacent to the current administration maintenance building, across the fence. That's one area. The other area is directly behind the maintenance shop, where the employees park right now, and move the parking to adjacent into the back 40. Behind the fuel area, and then also looking at in the arena area where close to where the restroom is. That's kind of wide open space there that we could probably, do it without congesting anything else. So I don't have a site yet. They're evaluating. I think contractors were on site, kind of looking at different areas and offering suggestions, but we're still evaluating where it's going to be the best place where we don't have to. We're not going to build something that we can't get to it because it's too cluttered. The other thing, we were notified last month that we don't have a permit for our 2 aquifer wells, Edwards aquifer wells. So we're applying for a limited use permit, which will get us 1.4 acre-feet of water per well. That's primarily used to irrigate this campus. And then there's a second well east of the president's house that irrigates the house and provides water for the livestock at the arena.
But we've been using those wells all this time without a permit?
Yes.
How has that happened? Any idea?
I don't know. Edwards comes out 4 times a year, every 3 months, to test the water at both well sites.
So they know.
They've been there.
So how did you find out that we didn't have a permit?
They sent us a letter saying that we need to install a meter and get a permit. I don't think 1.4 acre-feet of water is going to handle what we need here on this campus. But it'll buy us time, I'd say 3 or 4 months with the 1.4 acre-feet.
So do we have city water here too?
We have city water for the buildings, but all the irrigation is tied to the well, and the well is right next to the swimming pool. That square building that sits kind of between the pool and Tate, there's a little square building, that's the well house.
Really? Have we ever replaced those pumps?
I think we replaced the pumps, yeah. And we replaced, there used to be huge tanks inside those buildings, and now we just have a small pressure tank in there. So we're working on that. We'll probably end up having to purchase, some water. Until we have a meter, I don't know how much we'll need. But, having the meter and having a limited use permit, we'll be able to establish what a reasonable amount.
Yeah.
Acre-foot of water is going for about $6,000. Buying it, not leasing it. You can probably lease it for $150, $160 acre-foot per year. So we're working on that. Good Jobs Challenge, we still haven't heard one way or the other. No? Yeah. City of Hondo, another action item down the agenda is leasing it's a partial lease, so we don't lease the entire facility, but we use some of the rooms for instruction, some of the rooms for AEL, and we're doing a welding class there. We've had the same lease since 2011.
How come we have not been renewing that for,
We have, we renewed it we didn't renew it this year because we've been going back and forth about the rates that they want. They want full rates for everything, and, our justification is, we can't support that. We don't have the student volume to support what you're asking us to pay. So we've been negotiating back and forth, and we finally agreed to a reasonable amount, and adjustment there. But generally, this one comes up, I want to say in October, más o menos. It's generally an October renewal, at least it has been. Mackenzie Scott, so last month, we asked the board for monies to establish the Mackenzie Scott Scholarship, and we have over 100 applications for that scholarship for the fall. This month, in keeping, as you know, the Mackenzie Scott was an unrestricted gift, and it's really the board's prerogative to use it in whatever form or fashion it deems appropriate. In keeping with, those items that got us the gift, which is the student success to the underserved population, we're asking the board to consider allocating part of the money to revamp our online courses. And we've been in contact with iDesign. That's a firm that will take our courses and soup them up to a better online presence. There's specific benefits of it, and they're attached to the agenda item for 15. The grant covers about a third of the cost, 2/3 of the cost of that expense. So we're asking if we can use the Mackenzie Scott for the balance of it. And at the same time, if the board would consider, those of you that were here at faculty convocation heard about the faculty innovation grants. Right now, we have it in our budget. If the board would consider putting those on the Mackenzie Scott, and like I said, those are designed to help faculty and staff departments with innovative ideas that they have that they want to try that we can't fit in the budget, that will improve either student success or student engagement. And I think that's right in line with, the selection that Mackenzie Scott used to, choose us for that gift. So we have that as an agenda item for the board's consideration. And then a real major win for us, making the transition to 8-week semesters. We report on 16-week terms for the co-board. We have to get special permission to report in an 8-week fashion. And that's important because next spring is the last semester for our base year, and the state funds us base year to base year comparison. So what they'll look at is all of our contact hours generated this summer, this coming fall, and this coming spring. And they'll compare it to the same 3 semesters 2 years ago. And if we grew or shrank, that is, one of the first criteria they use to determine what kind of allocation that we're going to get from the state. So the way it was, their initial ruling was you can't submit the second 8-week because you had to apply for it last year. And my argument to them was, well, we were going to implement it last year, but we had COVID. And we didn't want to put that on the students, and we didn't want to put that on our faculty and staff in the middle of the pandemic. Mm-hmm. So the deputy commissioner heard me out and said, okay, well, let me meet with my team. And he got back to me and said, we'll approve your request. So we'll be able to count the second 8-week, because if we wouldn't be able to count it, we would stand to lose about a fourth to a third of our enrollment for the spring semester. Mm-hmm. And that's just devastating for us when you compare those numbers to our peers. So that's a big win for us. We're working with the co-board to get that finalized. and get us on track for the fall to report it into in 8-week terms. Budgets, we continue working on budgets, and we'll be ready for a budget workshop. I'm going to ask the board to push it out a week, possibly 2, if you would entertain that, to get us time to really refine those budgets in time for a budget workshop. And then you have the different meetings. I've got a meeting on Monday with Commissioner Keller. He's doing a listening tour, wants to know, what's going on. He's meeting with all the South Texas colleges. I think he's doing that in every region. So we'll be doing that via Zoom on Monday. We'll be closed the 30th, and CCAT conference the 16th and 18th. And our next regularly scheduled board meeting is the 16th. I had put down the 23rd. I'm going to ask if you would consider the 30th. That gives us plenty of time to get the budget in line. And that's all I have for the report, unless you have additional questions.
Do we have somebody to present our financial statement?
I'll do that.
Okay.
So item number 11 on your board pack is our financials. The first page is a summary. So we have total educational general year-to-date, $40,040,000. Student aid year-to-date, $10,979,000. Auxiliary enterprises, $878,000, for a total income of $51,898,367. On the expenditures, we have total educational and general expenditures of $32,110,000. Student aid of $14,470,000. Auxiliary enterprises expenditures of $1,106,000, for total expenditures before debt service of $47,687,000. We have accrued expenses for debt service of $4,210,000. Excuse me. That's operating revenue, excess revenue before debt service, $4,210,000. We've accrued debt service expense of $1,629,000, leaving us a total excess revenue of $2,581,000. It's been a while since I've done this. The supporting detail is from page 2 through page 11. On page 12 is our balance sheet. We have total cash and cash equivalents of $19,383,000 and total current assets of $21,651,000. Non-current assets, we have in there restricted cash of $4,473,000 and total non-current assets of $46,099,000, bringing our total assets to $67,751,000. Under liabilities, we have total current liabilities of $5,243,000, non-current liabilities of $19,316,000, bringing our total liabilities to $24,559,000. And you see our net assets at the end of April of $43,191,000, showing us a net increase, an increase in net assets of $2,581,148. On page 13, 14, and 15 is our summary of account balances. We have a total of, on page 15, $8,115,000 cash in the bank, and we have $14,350,000 certificates of deposit, for a total cash of $22,465,497. Page number 16 and 17 through 18 is our investments in CDs by term, rate, and denomination. On page 18, you can see we have restricted CDs of $8,850,000 and unrestricted CDs of $5,500,000. Page number 19 is our maturities for CDs. You see quite a huge jump, almost 50 basis points from 0.28 to 0.66 on a 30-day term. Page 20 is our scholarship amounts. We have a total of $984,979 in scholarships. And page 21 is our other investments. We have corporate stocks of $267,000 in the Wilcie Miller, and the plant funds is $165,000. And then page 22 is, I'll sign this one for you, that we're in compliance with our investment policies.
Do I have a motion to accept the report?
Go ahead and make a motion, we approve the financial statement as presented.
Anybody? Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Next, on the agenda, we have a consider an act on a modular building site work bids.
Yes, sir. This is item number 12 in your packet. I can tell you I'm disappointed with the bids. You can see on the second page there, the ones that are stapled. The base bid is the first number, the 667,000. And then alternate one is the 45 parking spots. We tabulated, ranked the construction companies. The low bid is $824,604. The next, according to ranking, would be that $1,140,000, and the third one, $1,312,000. I think we're paying a little over $400,000 for the building.
Where the A.E. Hiller and Sons, where are they from?
I want to say they're from Eagle Pass, but
The Frontera,
Frontera is either Eagle Pass or Del Rio.
so would that be Alan Scott?
Let me see if it's here on the. It doesn't look like it's Alan Scott on the signature for Frontera.
Anyway, they're too high, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you propose?
It's, obviously it's, again, the board's prerogative, but I feel confident that we can do this in-house at probably half the cost, if not less. We've done the similar work at the Chittum Center. I think we'll rent the heavy equipment, and we can act as a general, we can sub out as deemed appropriate and necessary. But I think doing it in-house, we can do it at a
Well, if
substantial savings.
you have the personnel, that's the
Yeah.
only way to go.
If the board would entertain that, we can certainly get that done.
Well, Dr. Gonzalez, I was noticing on the RNC,
So
has the name Rodolfo Flores, no?
I did see that.
The RNC,
okay.
where are they from?
I don't know. I didn't tabulate, and when I saw the amounts,
Cool.
I
Yeah.
lost a lot of the interest.
You didn't care. Yeah.
So we need a motion to reject, that's what we need?
I would, yes, the board can reject all the bids and direct the president to do the project in-house with the appropriate subs as needed.
I go ahead and
Yeah,
make a motion that we reject all bids and give our college president the authority to go ahead and do it in-house as appropriate.
Thank you. Second motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next item on the agenda is to consider an act on ratifying the AET utility easement. Is that number
Yes, sir.
13?
13, so you'll see the easements, they're signed and notarized. We've granted the easements to AEP. You'll see a diagram of what that easement covers. One of them is for the WIT building, the nursing building. for that new air condition. They're moving the transformer, and the second one is for the new portable, the new modular building. And I would just ask the board to ratify the granting of those easements.
Are the wires underground or
Underground.
overhead?
Underground.
Do I hear a motion to ratify that easement?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Consider an act on Hondo lease is the next item on the agenda.
Yes, sir, that's item number 14. You can see there, you should have the actual lease document behind that cover page. It goes into, it covers approximately 4,900 square feet and identifies the room numbers there, and it does include an amount that, where they provide a receptionist. So instead of us having to have somebody on staff full-time, they have a person there, and we pay them a fee to provide that service to greet and answer the phones and direct students there.
How much of a change total was it from what we had before?
I think it went up from 32, más o menos, 32 to 49. They were asking for 64,000.
Okay.
We feel it's reasonable. And like I said, we hadn't had any kind of rent adjustment since 2011.
Need a motion to accept their proposal.
I'll move. We accept it as presented.
All in favor? Consider an act on the use of Mackenzie Scott gift for institutional student service, student success initiatives.
Yes, sir. So you see the item number 15, in the memo, I've reiterated what was in the president's report, but if you look at the second page, you can look at the benefits that iDesign would bring to our online presence. Really, if you look at the second block there, benefits of online course design is, when a student opens an online class, it'll be the consistent presentation across courses. Everything would be standardized, fully integrated into Canvas with the syllabus and assignments and announcements, compliant with ADA, and you can kind of see the expected reductions in those unsuccessful completions of online courses. You can see what we have there, and I don't know why we fluctuated every other year between 25 and 12. That's a weird anomaly there. And you can kind of see some of the other universities, both in-state and out-of-state, that have used iDesign. On the third page, you can kind of see the courses that we've identified, some of the faculty members that we've identified. And then the low, medium, high is speaking to the level of integration that the company would have to do based on the course type. And this is based on from their experience in doing other courses for other institutions. And Dr. Mark is here, he can answer more specific questions on iDesign for us.
Dr. Onda, I just noticed that on the iDesign partners and all that, I don't see any community colleges there.
Grayson College should be listed there. They're a two-year school in Sherman.
Oh, okay.
And TSTC is the two-year technical institute for the state. I in fact visited with the academic VP at Grayson. And she said, Mark, I got to tell you, I can't say this about anybody else I've ever worked with. She said, I have nothing bad to say about this people. She said they did exactly what they said they'd do. When they said they would do it. Grace did an initial 30 courses with them with iDesign earlier in the spring, and they already signed up for another 30, I think 34. And so they're very pleased. They also have some international contracts, by the way. I didn't put those on there. They're very well established. We had a meeting. They actually provided us about an hour and a half professional development session for our faculty on Tuesday afternoon. And that was very well received.
This
They
is
did that for free
Carnegie Mellon in California?
in Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Pittsburgh.
Mr. President, could I ask a question?
Certainly.
So when you say course redesign, is this a software platform that the courses, the online courses are going to be presented in?
So almost all the courses listed there are existing courses that we have online that our faculty have developed, and they're provided through the Canvas platform. That's our learning management system. So iDesign takes our existing courses and our existing learning management system, and they help us redesign within that system the best researched ideas on course pacing, on what should be in video format, what should be in text format. The ADA compliance part is very important, captioning material on it for every course. By federal law, we're supposed to be doing that, and we don't do it on all of them, very frankly, so we're excited about that as well. They will go from, if we don't have a course, let's just say that we wanted them to design, they can design it from the ground up with faculty input. But the courses listed there, the plan is for one or more of our faculty to be in very regular consultation with their designers. And our folks provide the content expertise, and they provide the formatting.
So our online presence is homegrown. So early on, we encourage faculty to develop their course, transition their course from a face-to-face to an online. So we have, the courses that we have online have all gone through that from an individual faculty perspective. So there's no standardization.
Uniformity.
Yeah, across the institution, because, you know, it was a kind of a homegrown organic transition to online. And now what we're trying to do, now that we have such a big online presence, is, okay, can we standardize it and improve the content where it's not just, well, this works in the classroom, I take it and put it in a PDF, and now it's online. So it's trying to bring back that engagement piece. You know, the new generation lives off of these things, and we need to be able to integrate in that fashion, in those short snippets, you know, that they're used to getting their information. And right now, some of our courses are, you know, PowerPoints and on a web page, and that's the extent of an online. Am I wrong?
No, that's correct.
Yeah. So we're trying to move away from that and bring it, the same engagement that they would have in the classroom, replicate that into an online presence.
I have a question on the last page, on the compensation. How do we figure that? Is that standardized, or I noticed the low is a low pay, and of course the high, and is that?
Yes, sir. It's a per course fee that they have standardized, and those are their standing per course.
That's a reimbursement to the instructor, is that?
No.
No, sir, that's the cost per course for them to provide the service.
Oh, these guys, okay.
One of their VPs told me that they basically put in, I asked the question, suppose we get 10 faculty trained. What keeps us then from just saying, thanks a lot, iDesign, we'll just go do the rest of them on our own? And Jared Bruckner's his name, he said, he kind of smiled, he goes, well, we built this company on the premise that that's not doable. So we figured we do about 80 hours of interaction between our designer or designers and your faculty. And then we do about another 80 hours on the back end, programming and researching, designing, back and forth. And he said, you can do that. He says, other people have tried it. And he wasn't unkind at all. He said, we built this company on the idea of, and the factual reality, that's just not doable. Unless you have a professional instructional design person and the computer facilities and the research resources that we have, and nobody has that basically. So we've been very impressed. We've been back and forth with them for 3 or 4 months now, getting examples, PD. So we feel very strongly, the administration and the faculty that were there as well feel very strongly about their legitimacy and the quality of what they can provide.
And the courses identified is really a blend between our bread and butter courses and then those programs that have a high online presence. So really, if you look at the top half, those are our bread and butter courses. And if you look at the bottom half, those are almost self-contained programs. You have the business management, the office systems, the child development, and those are huge, puro online, as far as the program. I say puro, it's not completely, but a large portion of those programs are online. So that's why you kind of see that break there right about the psychology area. It's about half and half.
It sounds like a really good idea, anything to keep the students interested and able to do the online courses, that the students that want to do them.
That want to do.
Is this $382,000 a one-time fee, or how much will it cost to keep going in the future with this
That would
company?
be the contribution we're asking from the McKinsey Scott for the initial contractual arrangement, which would be a 7-year arrangement. The 7-year arrangement is the basic scope of work. The way that Jared explained it to me, once, if we were to commit, say, to there's 32 courses there, that we can add courses anytime you get ready. He says that he works with a school in Utah, I think he said that they have 12 or 15 addenda to their original agreement, because they said, we want to do these 5 or these 25. So the 382 is the contribution we're asking from McKinsey Scott. We have some money from the AREPO grant in the second year that's indicated there that we would use, plus 2 fees from the STEM grant both this year and next year. So that would be for those initial 32 courses that you see before you, plus 300 hours of what they call help desk. Pick up the phone, type an email to their help person, and that's the $95,000 that's there as well.
Well, this one only reads 100 hours. You said 300.
That was my mistake.
Oh.
It's 300 hours. Once they told me 100, then I got the contract, and it's 300.
Do we need a motion to accept that proposal?
I make a motion that we accept it as proposed by administration.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Dr. Gonzalez, how much money are we going to have left after this?
From the McKinsey Scott, $4,150,000 plus whatever interest. Yeah, because we used 115 and then this chunk, so over 4 million.
Still have quite a bit.
We have some information on the board self-evaluation.
Yes, sir. Item number 16 is NETA tabulated and it's really for the board's information there, but she tabulated your responses. And then on the second group, or the second stable group there, she went ahead and took the responses for the past 4 years, just to give you an idea. And then the same thing with the open-ended questions. She went ahead and typed those up. Again, all that is for the board's internal use.
Basically the same throughout.
Yeah. For Mr. Munoz, if you look at that, you'll see that most of the scores are over 4, above average. So,
We have a great board.
yeah, we do pretty well.
We think well of ourselves.
You know, otros buildings already.
Yeah, that's right.
Do we need a motion?
No,
to
no, sir,
accept
that's
any of
it.
that?
That's,
Okay, just
right.
need to move on to the. Need to work on a date for the budget workshop and for the June board meeting.
Yes, sir. I would ask the board to consider June 30th for both the budget workshop and the June board meeting. That would free up
Usually-
the
usually
16th.
about half an hour before or so.
We could do it 6:30, 6 o'clock, whatever the pleasure of the board is, depends on how much detail. We can be here at 6, at 5 if somebody wants to come early. But it's y'all's workshop, so whatever level of discussion and interaction you want with that, we'll certainly entertain that.
Do I hear a motion to move the board meeting to June the 30th
I move.
and the workshop to be an hour or hour and a half ahead of time?
At 6 o'clock then?
Yes. 6?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
We need to adjourn for a short period of time. It is now 7:54. 7:54. To convene in closed session in accordance with the Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code 551.074, to consider personal matters relative to tenure, recommendation, and professional rank. Texas Code 551.074, employees terminated, resigned, retired, new hires, transferred, according to Code 551.074.
addition to that, grant faculty titles to Jamie Watts of Assistant Professor, Josh Overfelt, Associate Professor, Robert Fowler, Assistant Professor, and Lander Fowler, Assistant Professor.
Do I hear a motion to recommend,
I so move.
to accept these
Second.
recommendations? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
No further business to conduct. We would consider a recommendation for
We adjourn?
adjournment. Thank you. Second?
I'm sorry?
You seconded?
I'll second the motion, yes, sir.
All in favor? Leave.
You get it for life.
We're adjourned.